In part one of this video, we looked at the 10 key conditions that organisations who have successfully achieved sustainably higher levels of employee engagement have managed to get in place for their people. Now, if you too would like to start building your case for making those changes and investing in developing employee engagement in your organisation to produce a more effective, fulfilling and profitable operation, let's look at a simple framework approach that can help get you started. Now, before we start, if you need to, please take a look at part one of this video and make a copy of the 10 key conditions that you will find in the description. Now, this simple framework approach will help you to think through, firstly, what are the current conditions in your organisation, your is state? Secondly, what action steps you could take that could change those conditions? And thirdly, what the bottom line cost benefit of those changes might be that would justify the effort. So, as a first step, get together with your team and for each of the 10 key conditions, do a little brainstorming and make a list of how people are currently experiencing their work environment. Then, as a next step, against each item on your list, write down specific actions that, if taken, would allow your people to experience that condition as positively as possible. Now let's take a look at what those first two steps might look like. For example, for our first key condition, number one, which is about how work fulfills our need for meaning and purpose, it might be that after careful reflection and discussion, your is state list might include that, firstly, people don't see much connection between their own work and the value that is being produced for customers. Secondly, not much emphasis is put on recognising the value of individuals' work. Thirdly, managers don't seem to think people's personal feelings about the meaning and purpose of their work are relevant. Fourthly, linkage of the individual's work and the broader organisational effort typically only comes up when something breaks and individuals receive negative feedback and frustrations, and so forth. Work through all of the 10 key conditions in this way, trying to really flesh out as far as possible what conditions currently exist that might get in the way of people having a completely positive experience of each item. Now, if you're finding this more challenging than you thought it would be, bringing in a trained facilitator to help keep the brainstorming process on track can be very helpful. Anyway, once you are happy that your list is as complete as possible, the next step is to think about specific actions that would positively change each item on your list. You might, for example, come up with that all supervisors could be actioned to have a daily or weekly performance boosting personal conversation with everyone on their team to give positive feedback and acknowledge them for how their work contributes to the wider effort. And this might lead to the idea that managers and team leads need to be performance managed by their supervisors to ensure that they are doing this consistently. HR could ensure that more emphasis is put on identifying individuals' sense of personal values and purpose during the hiring process to ensure a better fit with each job role. Training could be given to all managers and team leads on how to develop emotional intelligence skills and provide affirmative feedback and deal with performance failures in a positive and supportive manner. You might want to add that induction training needs to highlight the value that the organisation delivers to customers and how the contribution of individuals performing different job functions can make all the difference. And so on and so forth. I'm sure you can come up with many more ideas once your creative juices are flowing. The important thing is try to capture as much detail as possible. So, Armed with these two lists, your current is state and your action list, you now need to add a third column and think through how to best implement each action item in your organisation. Is it a change in process, technology, quality control, or behaviour? Think through what the costs of implementing these changes might be. Much can be achieved without spending any money at all, although you will need to think through what hidden costs your proposed changes might have. For example, on increased workloads for supervisors if they were to spend more time in engagement boosting activities with their team members. What are the implications for their current workload demands? What are the implications for HR, training, tech support functions, and the recruitment, staffing, and performance management processes? Once you have answers to all of these questions for each item on your action list, for all of the 10 key conditions, you will have all the raw material necessary to start building your business case. A roadmap of specific and costable actions to get you from your current situation to one where the conditions for high engagement have been built into the core DNA fabric of your organisation. All you then need to do to finish building your business case is to project what you think the impact of improved employee engagement would be to your key business performance metrics. You need to be able to project what a fully engaged workforce would do to your revenue, margin, growth, customer satisfaction, and loyalty numbers. How would it affect your staffing costs? What impact would it have on recruitment, retention, and the financial and operational costs of staff turnover? Adding into your case projections of the bottom line impact of investing in this change effort will give you the answers to my questions at the beginning of part 1 of this video. What kind of return on investment could you expect? Or alternatively, what would the cost of doing nothing be? Now, you may have noticed that so far I haven't mentioned the popular approach of surveying employees to assess and analyse engagement levels. Now, while I do believe a lot of value can be derived from having systems in place that monitor engagement levels over time, especially for larger and more complex organisations, just like for a doctor, taking the patient's temperature and blood pressure does not create the cure. Being able to collect and analyse engagement data, while it might be interesting and informative, in itself does not necessarily do anything to shift the culture and behaviours throughout the organisation to actually create higher engagement. And if senior leaders need to rely on survey data to tell them what the state of engagement and disengagement is throughout their organisation, by definition, they may be too far out of touch with the day-to-day realities of their people and would probably find it valuable to reconnect with the simple leadership discipline of MBWA, management by wandering around. Getting out of their C-suite offices and regularly talking to their frontline workers about what they find challenging and rewarding with their work can be a really enlightening experience for many senior executives. Now, clearly, this short video can only scratch the surface of what is a big and complex subject, and there is a lot more we need to talk about. But I will be drilling into many of the aspects of the process of developing employee engagement in upcoming videos. So make sure you subscribe to keep up with my videos as I manage to get them posted. My name is Nick Musgrave. I specialise in helping individuals and organisations achieve their best potential. In this series of short bite-sized videos, I'm exploring how you can deepen your understanding of the links between neuroscience, emotional intelligence, leadership and engagement, and discuss the many practical ways that can help you move up to the next level, both personally and as the leader of others, wherever you might currently be on the engagement scale. I hope that this quick skim over the 10 key conditions that need to be in place to promote engagement and my simple framework to help get you started building your own business case has been of some value to you. To make sure what I'm giving you is relevant to your own learning needs, please leave me a comment. I'd love to know what you feel, or if you have any particular challenges or success stories with leadership and employee engagement in your organisation that you would like to share with me. Thank you for staying with me to the end of this video. Don't forget, if you like it, give it a like. And I would love for you to click the subscribe button and join me on this journey of discovery, and check out the next video in the Leadership for Engagement series for more practical tips on how to boost engagement for yourself and the teams you lead.